I'm gonna wait till you get in there to watch.
Yeah, I gotta get the outside of this.
Are you live now?
Yeah, we went. I was like,
Alright.
pulled the trigger.
Alright, I pulled it too.
Such a cool thing. I'm just recording.
Eric.
Crockett Tavern Museum in Morristown, Tennessee. We got a little tour.
No, I had to change my password on Twitch and I forgot.
What's up, everybody? Here we go. Here stood the Crockett Tavern, established and operated by John and Rebecca Crockett, parents of Davy Crockett, David Crockett, 1786 to 1836. It was the boyhood home of his pioneer and political leader of Tennessee, who was later a victim of the Alamo Massacre in San Antonio, Texas. So that's where we're at, guys. This is the boyhood home of Davy Crockett. What's going on? Plumber B, the Waffle House was really good. We had an awesome night with Karen, thanks to Cindy and Tim. They hooked us up with a nice dinner. So we're at Davy Crockett's boyhood home right now. We're still with Freedom Squirrel and Paulie D. We're actually making our way back up to go see Ray in the Patriots Lab. We're gonna hang out with him today, sell some merch, check out the town of Jonesboro later. So Crockett Tavern Museum. Pretty awesome. It's got that cedar shake roof. You see that?
Alright, there's Crockett Tavern Museum.
So cool, right? Good morning, everybody. Like, share, subscribe. Hey, what's up, Freedom Squirrel? We're hanging out with Freedom Squirrel and Paulie D again. Infamous Jersey Jen with us. But how cool is this, guys? This is one of the destination spots I wanted to check out. Good morning, Monica. Your kid dressed as Davy Crockett for Halloween? This is cool. You'll have to show him this video later. We'll keep the content kid appropriate for this one. So you can show him the boyhood home of Davy Crockett. We're gonna get a little tour inside. Oh, babe, inside the bag, can you grab the 20? There's 20 bucks in there. It's like the top of the zipper part, top zipper. No, the top zipper. This guy, that one. There we go. But how cool is this? They even got a little birdhouse out here. But it's like right on a main street, you know? It's just crazy how times have changed to where a main road goes right past the home, the birthplace, you know, the childhood home of Davy Crockett. Cool, right? But look at this log cabin, man.
Did you check out how long he lived?
Yeah.
50 years.
On that, yeah. That was average back then.
I know, but do you realize how much more he did in his life than we did?
I know. I mean, just the Alamo alone.
He's just 10 years older than me.
I know. We got to get on it. You want to try to help me build one of these cabins? We can do that. Look at the construction now. Let me show you the sides. You see how everything's notched? It's just so cool, the construction. Well, how much is it?
$5.
I got it. I got them.
You sure?
Yeah, we got you guys.
All right.
We got it. I got it.
Thank you, man.
No problem.
Are you allowed to bring that in there?
Yeah, we're just recording.
Yeah, we're just recording.
It's so cool.
Oh, it's $5.
It's only $5. I got it. Yeah.
Oh, here's the 5. Here's one of them.
It's cool.
Well, I'm gonna get out of here a minute.
Let's see.
Back.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. But just like the hand-hewed logs, guys. Hand-hewed logs. The childhood home of Davy Crockett. How cool is that, guys? Just amazing.
Big Smoky, hey man, thank you so much for yesterday.
Big Smoky. Hi, Big Smoky. He's in the other room. What do you got there, Jen?
Brochure from
Let me see the brochure here.
Uh,
So this is what we're working with, guys.
Thank you so much, man. It's so much appreciated. King of the Wild Frontier killed him
So
a bear when he was 3 years old. Yep.
He killed him in bear at 3 years old.
Yep. We gotta say, killed him a bear.
With his bare
Killed him a
hands.
bear. We got our flyer here with our pictures.
This is
Hasn't
cool.
come in the mail yet.
Even like the shutters got the little things so you can lock them from
They
inside.
got little windows in them too.
Oh, look at the little guy up there. Little window. Oh, like little windows in the window shutters.
I've never seen windows in the shutters.
Yeah, look at that.
Isn't that cute?
And they're really
Look at that.
carved out nice. Like they're rounded.
Alright.
That's just so awesome.
It's a nice shutter.
You know why we put plexiglass in there?
Nah.
We had 1790 shutters like those up there, but
Yeah.
people were coming after hours trying to pry them open with screwdrivers and knives or whatever.
Ah.
So we took the old ones off and put that in so you could peek in, but now everybody wants to know if that's gun ports, but the gun ports would have been up in the wall and you'd stuck the long rifle through that
Oh
hole in the
yeah.
wall.
Oh yeah.
That's so
That's why
cool
there's
though.
little peepholes there.
That's awesome. Are you guys in the middle of a tour or
No,
something?
no, we
or-
were just visiting with. That's her
Oh.
children, and I had to drop by a couple of things. And she's
All
got
right.
a group coming at 1 though, so if you want to get through before that group gets here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
we
to,
might do that.
Yeah, we'd like
Yeah,
to do that.
yeah.
Okay, she can take you through.
Absolutely.
Alright,
Thank you.
You can stay just
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing just fine. How are you?
This is for all of us.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
We've got four.
We just
Okay.
thought this was the coolest thing ever when we heard about it, and I'm like, I gotta go
Yeah.
see this. So
Awesome. So where are you guys from?
we're from Jersey.
Okay. Well, you definitely got to sign a register. We've been
Awesome.
getting a track of all the people
Oh, from all
coming
over.
through. We've been open up now since last week.
Oh,
So
nice.
you're going to be our first ones from Jersey.
We're the first jerseys.
Yes. I'm
Yes.
excited. I'm like, yay.
And ironically, our channel name on YouTube is Jersey J and Jersey
Okay.
Jen. So
See,
it's
my
a-
daughter was like, she knows all this talk. She's telling me just now when you're, she's like, I know there's, what'd you say? There's, what?
I know they're filming.
Yeah.
I know all.
I know.
she's smart. She's
Yeah,
on it.
she's smart.
She's
So
on
she
it.
has to educate
I don't
me.
have a
I'm
pen.
like, okay.
That's awesome. Do you have a pen? We can sign
Yes,
that for
I just
sure.
kind
Oh,
of write that down.
thank
and
you.
I can carry it out.
Jen, you want to sign it for us?
Yeah, we live in
Yeah.
We're originally from New Jersey.
So cool, guys. Check it out. These are all the states that people.
our real names?
Yeah, put our real names in there.
You put her real name.
Put our real names. AKA Jersey J and Jen.
I always do that once a week, usually on Saturdays, so they were fresh for church
Yeah.
Wow.
on Sunday.
I said,
But
I said
no,
here.
doesn't matter. We got the water and had to be carried in from the well.
This is just so cool.
Poured into a big tub set.
In the back.
So how much of this is original?
Well, I'll tell you about that here.
All right.
This is a reproduction of the actual tavern, or close facsimile of similar pioneer homes, pioneer taverns that would have been at the time period right around the 1790s, early 1800s. The original site was located across the railroad tracks from here, where
Okay.
there's a Shell gas station, and it was used as a smallpox hospital in the Civil War
Oh wow.
and had to be burned down after the Civil War stopped the spread of disease.
Yeah.
By that point, the Crockett family had moved out of this region. They started moving out west. Davy especially, when
Yeah.
he got married, he made his transgressions and started going out to Jefferson County, then into Nashville area, and then eventually out to Memphis,
Yeah.
where he got disillusioned with politics and losing elections and butting heads with Andrew Jackson over the Indian removal. And he decided, you know, I've had enough of it. I'm going to Texas, have a fresh start. They promised him, the leaders in the Texas Revolution, Sam Houston and the like, that if he was successful and helped them and they gained independence, he would get a big tract of land. So that was enticing to him. He always liked to have wide open country and space.
Yeah.
And so every time he'd settle somewhere, there's a whole bunch of colonists and everybody else coming into the area. And so he'd be like, okay, I've had enough of that. I'm going to pack it up.
And he
move
leaves again? That's cool.
So he had hoped he'd have this large tract of land by helping out. He was very much for the cause of the Texas Revolution. And as we know the story, he lost his life at the Alamo.
Wow.
People thought he had lived there a long time. He only lived there 3 months.
Wow.
From the time he got to the Alamo to the point where he was killed.
Wow.
So yeah, it's not as long as you think.
Yeah.
Here, guys, if you'll step behind here since they're filming, I'm sure you want to be in their YouTube video. All right.
They're cool.
That'll be famous.
Right.
All right. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what this was. The original tavern itself would have encompassed this room here and the upstairs loft.
Okay.
This addition of the bedroom that you'll see shortly was not a part of the original building.
Okay.
It's more just to give you a feel for similar homes in the area. There was a tavern basically every 10 to 15 miles. This was part of the old stagecoach wilderness road.
Okay.
So a lot of merchants, travelers, businessmen, farmers would have their livestock coming through here, need a place to stay, and this would be a great stopping point.
Yeah.
Originally, when this opened up, we opened up to the public in 1958. So we've been here as an operating museum since that time, so about 64 years. So when they walked in originally, they had this as the bedroom and the other side as the kitchen tavern. And it really would not have been like that to the travelers coming in. You're being enticed by food, you're hungry, you're weary. So that's the reason why we flip-flopped it. And there's a reason why, as we tour through, I'll show you, because of the hearth design and the fireplace, this one's a little bit shallower.
Yeah.
And the other one that was originally set up as the kitchen's a little bit more carved out, taller, that would have served that purpose.
Got your pots and pans and all that.
The building itself, though, has been created using wood and lumber from a local school here in town that was in operation until about the 1840s, 1850s. So when it was demolished, they repurposed the wood and the beams that you see here from that. And the logs are actually authentic from area cabins that were also torn down, so we were able to use those, repurpose it. There was one gentleman that was his mission, to restore this whole cabin, so he helped put this together along with some local stonemasons that helped with the hearth. And he got some teenage boys to help with the outside stonework. So when you go outside and you see all that stonework, he hired them out about 50 cents.
Oh, wow.
To do it. But if you can imagine in the 1950s, and that's the first job, hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Has been operating longer than Davy Crockett lived.
Yes, Davy Crockett lived till he was 49. He was almost 50.
Wow.
So when he was killed at the Alamo. So this would have been operated by Davy's father, John. Davy's father, John, had a grist mill right outside of Greenville, close to Limestone, Tennessee, where Davy was born. And if you're interested in more Davy Crockett history at the end, I've got some information about the birthplace. Highly recommend it. It's a really neat reproduction of the cabin, plus museum.
Oh, cool.
Animals, a visitor center. It's really nice. And a lot of people come out there by the river to camp.
Oh, nice.
Set up, so it's really beautiful. So he had a grist mill set up there, just about had everything up and running, ready to go. Massive flood comes through, washes away all of his grist mill. The only thing that we have that survives from that is outside, that you'll see is the smaller grist stone that was recovered.
Oh, cool.
And was brought back to the tavern for us. So as far as anything else related to the Crockett's, the only thing else that we have is part of the well that was recovered in 1949 at the Shell gas station when they did some excavation before it was a Shell gas station.
Yeah.
And they did some excavations out there and found a piece of that well. So we have it
cool.
downstairs. Everything else, though, the Crockett family, once they left this area,
took everything.
you took everything because everything was hard to come by.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why we don't have a lot of original artifacts from Crockett. Crockett.
Yeah.
And the tavern itself, like I said, was burned. So we don't even have that,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So I'll give you a little depiction of what life would have been like for them, what it would have been set up. Hang on, my dad's on her.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna get my kiddos. Anyway, this would have been primarily the meeting gathering place, and I do have a list here in the center of what the rates were if you stayed here at the tavern. So you can take a
Oh,
film
wow.
of that, how much it would have
Wow.
cost you.
Oh wow.
We got to come
breakfast-
back here for dinner.
Yeah, seriously. Or to get drunk.
Oh
Half a
yeah.
pint of rum is 6 cents.
Yes. And I did have
A
a
quart of cider for 6 cents.
That'll keep you busy.
Yeah, a brandy's a little expensive, so I don't know.
I know.
8 cents. 6 cents for lodging?
That's
Yes.
so cool.
Dude, we could
and
totally
everyone-
stay here. Like,
Oh yeah.
we could live here.
That's
Good
awesome.
pasture per night was 6 cents. Your fodder. You get some good prices.
Oh, you want to stay for the day, just stay
Good
there.
prices.
That's so cool.
So, Marjo, Ashley, hey, we're at the Crockett Tavern Museum.
Yeah, guys. Sorry, I
Morristown.
haven't been.
This is my
Good
hometown.
morning, everybody. What is today?
We just
Oh, today's
were,
Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome
That
for the
is
prices,
really
though.
You're my brave girl. No, she's stay with me.
That's awesome.
Okay, let me go back to that. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. It's a family business.
Yeah, right?
That's what we love seeing.
Okay, this is a copy of the Crockett family recipe for muscadine wine.
Oh wow.
So this is original. Muscadines
Will
would
you
have been
Tap
Yeah.
my screen.
small, green,
Thanks.
green or grape. That's a little bit tart,
Yeah.
more sour than the Scumperwong.
Oh,
Now I
wow.
say that wrong because I always get tongue tied. So if you correct me later,
Yeah, that's
I'm
all right.
sorry. It's a little bit of
The
a tongue twister
recipe
for me.
for the wine.
And you can still buy muscadine wine.
Oh,
out
wow.
and about.
Really?
Yeah, and muscadine jelly.
Oh,
But
that's
yeah,
so
that's
cool.
That is really
Crockett
cool.
family recipe.
That's their family recipe.
Yep.
And they had to get a license to be able to do that. To
Wow.
create liquor and to also have a tavern to sell liquor
Yeah.
as well.
So you needed a liquor license all the way back then.
Yes.
This is in what, the
Courthouse.
1700s?
The 1700s, late 1700s, early 1800s.
That's awesome.
Okay. I know.
Right?
Even then, they gotta be able to.
They got their foot in the door.
All right,
Oh,
let me
cool.
show you a few items here. And I usually try to get people to guess what they think this is.
I think I know what they are.
Okay. This is a brick of tea. So
I didn't
this
know
would have
that.
been black tea.
Wow.
We've had guesses that this is pieces of wood.
I thought it was
this
a
is-
stamp to do something like that,
No,
like an
I've
older.
had that too.
Wow.
This
Yep.
is tea.
This is tea. This is the way tea would have come.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
And then you would chisel out, your individual bricks, and then from there you could chisel out little corners if you wanted to steep it in your hot water, or if you had a grater, you could grate
So
that
when all
down.
that tea
That's so
fell in
cool.
the ocean, it wasn't like tea bags.
Yeah,
It was
so
bricks.
that's what I was going to say. When you
Mhm.
talk about the Boston Harbor, it would have come in crates, about 50 or 60 bricks of
Wow.
this
And that
versus
engraving
wood.
is really cool.
Yes. And so, yeah, and you can see it has have the Chinese characters. You can still buy this. You can
Chinese
go through
tea.
your home health care stores, go online, you type up tea bricks. You can get it in black, you can get it in
Oh,
green. It's
wow.
about the size of a Hershey bar.
Wow, that's cool.
So yeah, this is about 10 years old. We've got to get some more. This is a cone of sugar. So if you remember during Revolutionary War days,
Yeah.
pre-revolutionary, where everything was taxed and you had to have a seal.
Yeah,
that
the
you
wax
paid
seal.
tax. This shows you what it would have been like for us. This was a representation of the town of Tusculum, which is close to Greenville,
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
to show that the merchant there was paying his taxes on his sugar.
Oh, that's cool.
Now this is a lot of money to get this sugar because it would have been imported. The crop
Wow.
behind you would have been, if you were extremely well-to-do,
Yeah, you'd have a
you
whole
could afford
bowl.
it, you would have that. And then if you were very wealthy, you would have a sugar chest, and it would be under lock. So to keep it safe for other people who wanted to raid and grab some
Steal your
sugar.
sugar.
Yeah.
So this would be for extremely well-to-do people. The merchants would have had this
Wow.
to keep it. So anyway, we kind of tell you like, yeah, the more money you have, the more sugar you were able to afford to buy.
That's cool. And we take sugar for granted
It's
now.
not like going to your neighbors to borrow a cup
Yeah.
of sugar.
Yeah.
Is actually like not cool.
I was
Right.
gonna say, especially if you're well-to-do, they'd probably be like, okay, yeah, that'll cost you.
Yeah,
$3.
leave your child here, you know, like.
Exactly.
No, actually.
So if they were needing anything sweetened, they probably would have used sugar cane to make like the molasses.
Yeah,
Or the honey
honeys.
from that. Because this was very hard to come by. Some other things, this is a cheese strainer. So
Oh,
you would
cool.
strain your curds and whey. This is not a laundry basket. But it could have,
Yeah,
styled it,
easily.
But no.
Light laundry.
Right, light, extremely light.
Yeah.
Yes. But anyway, yeah, you would strain the curds from the whey together through the cheesecloth and then use a mold similar to this. to
Oh,
make the
wow.
Cheese. Trying to show this to you. This is a sassafras root from a
Sassafras.
Nice.
Yes. So this is a root. We got to get a fresher one, or get somebody.
Yeah.
If somebody's got a
Ooh,
pocket
it
knife,
smells
I mean,
good.
It still
I
smells
was gonna
good.
say somebody's got a pocket knife.
Oh, I don't have
cut a
it
piece
on me.
off.
In the car.
Yeah, I was gonna
Leave
say
it in the car.
afterward, we need to get that shaved. We've been closed for 2 years, so you have
Oh.
to get that smell.
Get
going
that
through
smell
there.
going again.
But they
You
would
don't
have
with
used
my
this
No,
similar to
not-
if you did a ginger tea
Okay.
today for stomach ailments, nausea. This is same purpose. You would have used it for that. Any kind of
Nice.
stomach upset.
And those trees grow wild around.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
It's very
sassafras.
prevalent.
Because no one's harvesting that anymore.
All the
No.
way up in New Jersey they were too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love. It's one of the most easily identifiable
There's 3
trees.
different leaves.
It's
Mhm.
something about when I had to do a leaf identification. I saw that leaf. It's like easy.
Yeah,
I know what
those trees have 3 different leaves on them.
Mm-hmm. It's
What is
very
that?
rounded. Looks like a catcher's kind of mix.
And then there's the one like this, and then
Yeah.
there's a 3-prong, and then
Yes.
there's a different one. So it's like a 3-leaf
you,
tree.
you can't
Yeah.
miss it. This is gunpowder tea.
Oh yeah.
So it does look like gunpowder.
It's tea?
Yeah, this is tea. Similar in taste to Earl Grey. So if you've drunk Earl Grey tea,
Oh, that's cool.
get the smell of that.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
and
good.
everything.
It's okay. Hey, we allow
Wow,
people
it's
to
strong.
touch
Earl
and
Grey.
see.
Yeah.
Earl Grey tea is my favorite.
Because that's the best way to learn your history. Sometimes get hands
It's through hands-on. Yeah,
Right.
that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Because
And you can get this in the black, or you can buy it in green tea. Because I've read a mystery series, and one of the titles was called the Gunpowder Green Tea Mystery. I was like, "Oh, cool.
Go for it.
that's awesome.
The different rolling pins. This is not from age, wear, or tear. This was actually grouped like this to crush up oats
Oh,
or
cool.
anything that needed fine grinding. That's what you would use it for. But we also say too, if Mrs. Crockett was down here with her 9 kids and tavern guests and needed to keep people in line,
She'd be
and she's
snacking
by
that around.
herself.
That's right. That's a good
Yeah,
club.
that-
So how old is that?
This would probably be, most of the items that we have here are from the late 1700s to the mid 1800s, some 1900 tools.
Oh,
Wow.
So
So
these are pretty.
this is pretty,
These are not really replicas. These are
yeah,
actual.
right. Most of these things have been donated to us. We have various families that donate items. Some of the Crockett descendants come by and give
Yeah.
us things. And then people who live out here in town that stop by antique places or different places on the road, they'll say, hey, I found this. Would you like it?
Yeah,
We can
yeah.
use it. We'll say, yeah.
Absolutely.
So we try to bring as much of the history back to you guys. Now, when you measure things out in the time, I've got a school group coming by, so I'm gonna tell them, like, literally, before you had a cup of this and half a cup and a teaspoon, you would use your cupful, a teacupful, to measure things. And we
Ah.
have some equivalent down here of how much everything would have been, your
Oh.
butter and your sugar, to give them an idea that, yes, we did not have measuring cups. So
It wasn't
and-
a little engraved, you know.
no, and there wouldn't have been a
There's a
uniform
gill.
teacup. So
Half
your
a
size
teacup.
teacup might be different.
Is
from
your
some-
measurement. Yeah.
Yeah. So your recipe might turn out perfect, then your descendant down the line might be making it again, going, okay, why didn't this turn out?
Yeah, so their cup in the recipe. So if I'm reading a 1700s cookbook,
Yeah.
I got to figure out how to get myself a 1700s cup
Yeah.
so I
Or-
can measure.
And this right
You
here is
need to know what a gill is.
And a gill.
Right. So there's a lot
Half
of
a
different.
teacup.
A lot of language
Yes.
differences, yeah.
And like a
How they
china
worded it.
teacup is a lot smaller.
Exactly.
Than this
This would have
teacup.
been more prevalent that you would see the metallic.
Yeah.
Because again, you imagine if you're carting this around, moving from place to place, your glassware is not going to make it long
No.
on a trip. So anything metal.
Yeah,
And this is just a
the tin.
reproduction here. We use that to show kids like, hey, this would have been the style of
Yeah.
a cup. They usually call it like the campfire cup.
Yeah, the camp cup.
Yeah.
We got some of those too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I love them, especially in Civil War when you see the campfire cups that they would have had.
Yeah.
I love them. So
Yeah.
I know
I
that
got a
the
chance to
era.
get me a reproduction one. I was like, I want it because when I go to work, sometimes not here, I had other jobs. I said, I feel like I'm going into the battlefront. I'm going to have my battle.
I get my battle cup with me.
Get ready.
That's
Have my
awesome.
coffee and go to battle. But this was the example of one of the hearth places. The mantle itself, though, was donated by a local family here called the Jarnigans.
Nice.
If you've lived here, I know we've got some
Oh, there's
Morristown
so
folks
many
that see.
Jarnigans. There's the I-N-A and the A-N-I's.
Yes, Anns, Jarnigans.
Yeah.
But they donated this. This was about an 1803, 1805 mantle piece. So this is original wood, original to the time period. And they did this on the premise that we put on display their ancestor that fought in the Revolutionary War.
Oh wow.
And so this is his photo here.
Jeremiah Jarnigan. So it's
And-
an I-G-A-N.
Yes, yes, I was gonna say, yeah, I've seen it spelled multiple ways. And underneath his chin there, that is his beard.
Oh, wow.
First I thought this was a lacy collar.
Oh, so it's
That's his
that was
beard.
just like throat beard
Yeah,
instead of
yes.
like just
It's
the
a throat
chin.
beard.
Yes. So
That's
anyway.
not a collar, it's a beard.
That's crazy.
And this is the ancestor
We gotta bring that look back.
of the people who
And that's a
donated
candlestick
the
maker
firemen.
next to that.
Yes, yes. So instead of going out and doing this one at a time, which
And he fought in the Revolutionary
Yes.
War.
Mhm.
This is Jeremiah Jarnigan, son of Captain Thomas Jarnigan.
Mhm.
I focus it so well it's on him, so I'm reading. Son of Captain Thomas Jarnigan, Revolutionary War soldier, and wife Mary Witt Jarnigan, was the first child born in the fortified homestead Mount Harmony, August 29th, 1763. This was one of the first houses built in what is now Hamlin County, Tennessee, and has the distinction of having stood under 4 governments: the state of North Carolina, the state of Franklin, the territory of south of Ohio, and the state of Tennessee. Part of the old house is still standing and was owned by the late Mr. and Mrs. Charles Hale. From this home, Mrs. Hale gave to the Crockett Tavern Museum the mantle in the big room. Minnie Leigh Jarnigan of Morristown, great-great-granddaughter of Captain Thomas Jarnigan, gave 2 pairs of shutters, the H and L hinges, and the old lock on the door leading from the big room into the kitchen, and the H and L hinges on the stairway door, all of which had been given to her from Mount Harmony by Mrs. Hale. Jeremiah Jarnigan was married 5 times and lived happily with each wife. Yeah.
Doesn't sound like 4 of them made it through.
Sorry. He and Mary Clark were married October 6, 1801. She died about 1807. He married Elizabeth Hightower December 25th, 1808. She died March 10th, 1814. His 3rd wife was Martha Bunch. 4th wife, Mary Jarnigan Aldridge. And 5th wife, Sarah Orr Nance. I recognize all those last names, which is crazy because I live here.
Yes. Now, I always think it's funny.
Yeah.
When I read that about the 5 wives. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's
Jeremiah
like-
reared 13 children and
Who's
had
happy 5
19
times?
grandsons in the Confederate Army.
It's too much happening.
Whoa.
Yes.
19 grandsons in the Confederate Army.
Wow.
For many years, he owned and operated a tavern known as the Red House in Granger County, Tennessee. He entertained as overnight guests the celebrities of the day. President Andrew Jackson often stopped at the tavern when traveling from Washington, D.C. to the Hermitage in Nashville, Tennessee. That is so cool. So
This is awesome.
mantle
This mantle and was from
Yeah.
his home.
his home, which was one of the very first homes in this county.
Yes.
That's
That is
cool.
really cool.
So we're excited to have it back.
Yeah.
And he
have
had
it on
13
display.
sons in the Confederate Army and
Poor guys.
5 wives. He was happily married to for a few
Yeah,
years
I was
each.
gonna say, I don't know about, how happy it was for them, but.
Yeah.
But he was happy about it.
Yes.
He was
exactly.
happy with those 5 wives.
Wow, yes. I was
They
gonna say.
died early,
Oh,
but
well.
he was happy.
But, as time was,
Smallpox and all.
who knows?
You never know. Yeah, you could have lost your wife every other month.
Flu.
You know.
Yeah,
like,
or childbirth, or
Yeah.
however it was.
things
yes.
were different.
But at least
Yeah,
he was
those were not
happy.
kids, so
And,
it could have been childbirth.
yeah. At least he was happy, and like I say, he did a lot in this area.
Yeah.
Entertained a lot of famous people. So we're happy to have that back. Some of the cookware down here, of course, you've got your cauldron type here for the stews and other big cooking that you would have had on the hearthplace. What's that? This is an iron. And here we go back up. This is one of the irons. If you've heard the expression "red hot mama,"
Yeah.
has a little bad connotation today. If you're a red hot mom, back then you really were red and hot from dealing with your cooking, your ironing, everything else
yeah.
you would have to get from the hearth place. So, but back then they would call you a red hot mama for that reason.
You'd be sweating
You would
and
be sweating,
bright red. And,
and they would get the children to work as probably right around the age of 4 or 5 doing basic chores. So fetching water,
Wow.
helping with weeds in the garden. Girls would help out with basic cooking tasks, kind of help out,
Cleaning.
yeah.
Yeah, cleaning, keeping everything.
Whatever
well
happened to
done.
that? We got to get that back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
taking care of the
Have to get our kids to
livestock.
watch this.
Yeah.
And then when the boys would have been about 9-10 years of age, old enough to be able to handle a rifle, they were sent out to help hunt. To provide food.
Yeah.
And then other kind of chores as the dad needed to for the maintenance of the home or the livestock and all of that.
Wow.
This down in the front here, this is a Dutch oven with a lid. This would have been used for your baking.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have your thing in there and then pile your ashes on top of that to keep things either warm or to keep it cooked,
Yeah.
just like a stove. Some hearth places would have carvings in the mantle itself, hollowed out. So if you wanted to keep pots warm or do additional baking type of things,
Oh,
you could
wow.
put them inside. Yes, and there's some different historic sites on. Is right now my brain's going faster than my mouth. I'm probably it's like Williamsburg and some of those places. If you explore
Oh,
some
yeah.
of the older history, you might find some intricate carved out.
That's
carvings
cool.
Like that.
I'd like to see that.
Yes. The griddle, we have a griddle over here. So if you did your pancakes, your flapjacks,
Oh,
Johnny
wow.
cakes,
Oh, wow.
you would do that over here on the fireplace. This is hinged. So yes, you could close it, flip it, and do as you need to.
That's so
Old school
cool.
waffle maker.
Yes. And we do have a waffle maker downstairs
Oh, old
too.
school pancake maker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Old school pancake, hoe cake, Johnny cake,
Yeah.
That's
all the
so cool.
variations that you
Check
have.
out that friggin' spatula.
Yes. I was going to say, we have that too.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Cast iron.
Yes.
Talk
Cast
about
iron spatula.
raw.
And most of
Ooh,
the
man, I
cast
would not
iron
like to
things
go
that
with
you.
Yeah, I would not want my mama to whip me with that.
No. I was gonna say, but it would come handy as a nice weapon. I would
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Cowboy Swindle, what's up,
Yes. Couldn't
We're
get
at
to
the
your gun, you
Crockett
get to
Tavern
the cast
Museum.
iron, anything you could get a hold
A
of.
cast iron, anything, yeah, because
Yes.
it was heavy and
man? Yeah.
Could do
It
some
hurt.
damage. We have
is
some
this?
examples here of the pipes that I think are kind of cool.
nice.
So the corn cob that you've seen, yes, they could do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes these would be hollowed out using bone, using wood, depending on whatever materials they had to
Yeah.
hollow out. Hopefully it did not crack or break as you used your tobacco. Tobacco was a pretty crop in this area.
Yeah.
So that was the reason why, even from the earliest settlements in Jamestown, when they found out, yes, tobacco could be grown here in abundance,
Yeah, they did it.
they did it. Kings were like, yes, this is the reason why we want you to settle.
Yeah.
And then later on, of course, you have your livestock and then other crops like your corn and soybeans.
Yeah, and other things there.
What is this X thing?
Oh, this is Firestarter.
Oh,
So if you can
okay.
imagine you have that here and you needed to have your wood in here or, just little bits of straw to start your fire.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
So
okay.
once you got it going, you
And
would
you
have
got
a
your
little
blower
bell.
thing.
There's little bellows here. This is kind of falling apart.
you blow
but-
some air
right,
into
But
it.
to keep the
Old.
fire going or to start to keep this fire started to
air.
where you could get a
Blow the
kindling
air.
going to start your actual fire.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And of course, you would
Odor.
keep a water bucket nearby.
Oh, that's cool.
And
Cowboy.
usually the kitchen
know
itself
you
would
have
have been
those extras
located in
for
a
it.
separate part of the house, but of course, because this is a little poorer type of house,
Yeah.
it was all part of one unit. The wealthier houses would have had your kitchen as a separate closed off area with a walkway, primarily to keep the heat down
out
in
of the
summer.
house. Yeah.
And also to stop the spread of fire. So if you had a fire in the kitchen, it could be contained a lot easier having it in its own separate building as opposed to it's all part of the one house.
Because back then it was just open flame everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah,
So if you
candles
had-
and fireplaces.
If you had something go wrong, something jumps out, starts catching the floorboards or any place else,
Yeah, and
you
everything's
don't
made
have
of wood, so
it would go up quickly.
that's a big risk back then. There's no fire department around the corner to put your house
it's
out.
pretty
so.
much you better see
Go
if
to the
you
well,
can, yes,
yeah.
you gotta get it out. These are some Crocs that were donated to us. Some of them would have liquor, some of them would have other non-liquor items.
Yeah.
I'll say that. But being a tavern, of course, you would probably have your rum and your whiskey and all of that.
Some
that you
hard
purchased.
cider or something.
And I was going to show you too. This is if you've watched the Davy Crockett series with Fess Parker playing Davy Crockett. This is his portrait and signature.
That's cool.
He visited Morristown in 1955 during our centennial.
Oh wow.
So it was a big deal, and they were showing King of the Wild Frontier.
That's
the Little
cool.
Princess Theater. So everybody was Crockett mad.
Yeah.
At that point, everybody wearing their coonskin caps, and contrary to what you all know, Davy Crockett did not wear the coonskin cap all the time.
Yeah.
He mostly would wear a felt type of hat
All right.
when he would go out and about. Occasionally in wintertime you might wear one to keep your head warm, but no, it was not the every time he goes out he's wearing a
He's got the hat, yeah.
But, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that when we go to the bedroom. There's some other type of hats here in just a second.
That was fascinating.
The tavern guests would have been gathered here. And in some cases, in your table here, you would have a trough carved out in the center where you could put your food in, and the men would just help themselves, start digging into the food, eating out of it. This is called a trencher plate.
A trencher.
Oh,
If
nice.
you've heard of this, this is made out of red oak. So this is
what a trencher was.
yes, and two men, maybe even three men might be eating out of that. So if you've heard of trench mouth,
All right.
this is where it comes from. So you get little diseases thinking on
I
whoever's
thought they were
eating.
wider.
Yeah,
More
They,
spreading-
they can be.
Spreading bacteria and
Yeah.
viruses.
But this is kind of like the smaller trench plate that you would find.
I gotta make
kinda
one of
pictured
those.
You know the wider styrofoam plates?
Yes.
That's pictured about that size.
Yes. There are some that are a little bit bigger, but this would have been more for like maybe one or two guests.
Yeah.
And depending on what you had, you might have had just about like that size and not much bigger.
That's cool.
Then these are some other ones that I show kids or other guests here. We've got wooden ones, wooden plates,
Wooden.
the metal that
Wooden
would have been
spoon?
pewter.
Oh wow. Yeah,
So
pewter.
smooth.
Yes. But
This-
this is just reproduction to
that's
kind of
so
show, except for that. That's a little bit more.
This is authentic.
Yeah, that's a little bit more authentic.
Wow.
Holy crap.
Try to show them that one is. And then we have some reproduction. We have a lady in town that made these for us, and these are
Oh.
pewter. So that's the only thing we don't ask guests to touch because it is being out of pewter having a high lead content.
Yeah.
We don't want anybody getting sick off of that. But and then other things here of the time period that they would have had tea kettles, pictures of the like, and then the plates back here. Usually the plates had a story to them
Yeah.
in the pattern design, and depending on the family or whoever was purchasing it, they would say, okay, I want this style telling a wedding or
Yeah.
a major celebration event, migration. The ones that you see here in red are telling the story of a married couple and their travels in their early married life.
Wow.
So that's their
Oh.
story on this.
So when I find a piece of pottery or like a piece of dishware like that in a dump somewhere,
Yes.
it could possibly be somebody's story.
Yes, or bought by a family
Yeah.
to say, hey, that kind of is like our lives or
I didn't
relevant.
know
to
that.
That's
us.
cool.
Yes.
I always thought it was just a pattern they just threw
No.
on there.
Yeah, I did too. So this is
No, that
So
I
cool.
really like that
married
one
couple
too.
And their travels together.
Yes. Oh, you like the Yes.
Yes, actually, no. We're
Yes.
only in the first
Yes.
room.
Yeah.
My daughter's enjoying the doll over here. I was telling them.
Yeah.
for
They
them
rate this
girls.
Yeah, let
towards
me
a
see
10
the
out of
doll.
10,
Is that
even
a-
though we're like,
Is that what
"Oh
the
my
kids
God,
would have
look at
been
that."
playing with back
Yes,
then?
if they could sew it,
Yeah.
make one, or they would make one out of corn shucks.
Okay.
They had to sew them.
Yeah, they had to sew them.
That's how you learn how to sew, right? You gotta make your own
That's
toys.
so
and-
cute.
So they would use scraps of whatever they were using for quilting, whatever else they had for sewing, and create their little dolls.
Oh, that's
And then
cool.
if they didn't have that, then it was the corn shucks, and you would use it and sew and weave the corn shucks together
Wow.
to make your little
The
dolls.
lighting is so bad.
These are, I know, it gets dark in here.
Right.
This morning it was nice and bright. Now it's like dark here. Megan, back up, son. There you
Oh,
go.
good.
These are early
There we go.
readers. They're called horn books. And some of them for girls, they would have patterns in the letters to teach them to sew. So not only were they learning how to sew through the book,
They're learning how
they're
to
learning
read.
their letters at
yeah.
the same time.
That's so
So-
smart.
This is examples of that.
Wow.
So when you went to school, instead of having a book, you would have
That's so
this.
cool.
Oh,
And
that's
then of course
awesome.
the slate. So when we're having another group, we're going to have a couple of school groups here,
Oh,
and I
cool.
thought, well, no, Shannon's like, this is
Yeah.
what your early school would have been like.
Yeah.
This, oh, it was talking about, this is like instructions and different animals. Yeah, this is like different animals
That's
that they
cool.
would have
Wow.
learned. And you're,
Oh yeah, the local animals, keys, things like that. You're gonna be
They didn't
encountering.
have books back then.
well, they did, but if you think about it, you got a one-room schoolhouse,
One
and you've
room?
got pretty much, and multiple grades coming through.
Mhm.
And they always planned it right around the harvest season would have been your school time to go. So that way kids could have chance to help parents out on the farm.
Mhm.
So it would be closed during the summer and during the early harvest season. So they
And
still
they
we
have
still follow it.
And their spelling back then, they changed a little over the years. It
Yes.
looks like.
Following the old English.
Yeah, the rabbit, and
Yes.
that's pretty cool.
So this is a checkerboard
Wow.
table using the corn cobs. Where we've been closed for a while though, these pieces are really sticking, so I'm gonna have somebody later.
Yeah,
come
pop
through,
'em up.
Pop them off, but you could actually play checkers on here for a while.
Oh, that's so cool.
If you've seen Pirates of the Caribbean and they talk about pieces of 8,
Yeah.
we have examples of that using some
Oh
of the
wow.
British
Some
coins.
pieces.
So that would have been your whole piece, then half, then quarter, and then
And
your
then
pieces
eighths.
of 8.
Wow.
And then here's paper money, the reproduction of the deck of cards.
Holy crow. The decks of cards are cool too. Look at that.
I was thinking, no, you couldn't be like me and try to count them. That's like you'd be a dead giveaway. Like, oh yeah, she's got,
Wow.
looks like a good high card here.
Yeah, right? I'm sure cheating was much easier
Oh,
back then
yeah,
too.
probably
You know?
was.
Like Scooby-Doo.
Yes. Back behind the wall here, this is Davy's eldest son, John Wesley Crockett. Davy was married
It's on
twice.
the picture.
Yes, in the picture there. Davy was married twice. His first wife's name was Polly Finley, and he married her one day before his 20th birthday,
Oh wow.
so in 1806.
19.
And she died, some people speculate either as a result of childbirth, or there's some that says, well, her daughter, her youngest child would have been about 2-3 years old, so it could have been cholera, dysentery, some of the waterborne infections of disease at the time. He married again to a woman named Elizabeth,
Oh nice.
and who was a widower with 2 children, and then had 3 more children with her before
Wow.
he died. So he had a total of 6 children by 2 wives.
Wow. I didn't know he was that ambitious.
Yes, yes. But he did love Polly. He talked about being so devastated. Every
Oh.
time he made mentions of his first wife, it was always in the
He was in
kindest,
love with her.
loving
Yeah.
terms. And when she died, it was just hard. And you
Probably
can imagine here he's
devastating.
got three kids. The trunk was donated to us. It come from the Alexander
wow.
Outlaw family.
Wow.
Well, actually, I'll say that again. Sorry, I'm getting confused. Sorry about that. This is from the Lane family. So
Okay.
if you've heard of one of our early preachers out there at Bent Creek
Yeah.
Church, Tidance Lane,
Uh-huh.
and his wife Aquila. And
That's a
so
great
this
name.
belonged to them. So it is of the
Is that
early
deer
1800s.
skin on the top?
Yeah.
Deer skin?
Wow.
So it is authentic of the time period.
Wow, deer skin trunk.
So it shows you a little bit about what it was like.
Even the lock, even like the detail
Yeah.
around the sides, the
The
straps,
lock mechanism,
all the rivets you put in it.
the rivets. That is so cool. Wow, guys.
You guys got the key too?
That I don't know. There's another lady that works here, and she's been in operation here for 30 years.
Wow.
I'm saying she probably does.
That's pretty cool.
This is one of the last portraits of Davy before he left for Texas.
Wow.
So
Oh,
the
yeah,
last
the weight
known-
on him.
Yeah, not quite as sturdy as what we remember.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
his favorite portrait of himself. So this is probably one if you've seen books or something. This
What
is
you've seen.
closer.
The bottom says, always
that
be
an
sure you're
actual-
right, then go
Or
ahead.
is it, it's reproduction?
Reproduction.
Okay.
Yeah, we had somebody
I
come
was gonna say-
along and did the carving.
It's like, I
and
was
engraving
gonna say,
on
that's in really
wood.
good shape.
Yes, and I'll show you the one that he
Wow.
did
I like
not.
that quote. Always be sure you're right, then go ahead.
Yeah, that's his quote
Yeah.
he's known for.
I
Make
like
sure
that.
you're right, and then go ahead and do it. The one I'm going to show you here that he hated, these are other depictions of him and statues that you can find. The one he hated in himself
I was gonna
is
say,
this
is
one.
that one.
He said he did not like the collar, he did not like the way he was depicted because he thought it made him look like a sissy.
It does.
And he definitely was not a sissy.
Yeah.
It really does make him look like a sissy in that picture.
So it's funny because we had a video showing earlier, when we get a chance with youngsters, and it shows the prominent picture being this one. I was
No,
like,
that's
yeah,
Davy
you hated
Crockett.
this
Yeah, he didn't
picture.
like that.
But anyway, there's some other ones, and he always signed his documents David, never Davy.
Then why
Yeah.
don't people call him Davy?
It's just short nickname.
Little
All right,
Davy
that's
Crockett.
David Crockett.
Yes.
It's
So I'm
David
gonna
Crockett.
take you around here,
Yeah.
and as you pass, you'll see a board here from the cabin in which Davy was born in Limestone, Tennessee.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's
Take a
the
look.
board.
This
Oh,
guy,
sorry.
Ooh,
Yeah, be
chair.
careful. Be careful.
this guy right here. This
Yeah.
log came from the cabin in which Davy was born, Limestone, Tennessee.
Birthday.
1786.
Pass
Board
through.
was in place in a cabin in August 17th, 1786,
Wow.
so it probably came there a lot earlier than that.
Yes.
It's a nice piece of wood.
Mhm.
This lock mechanism.
Yeah. Show you all those intricate things. Yes. And as you can see here, when they originally opened it up, they had this as the kitchen instead of the bedroom that we have here. And here's why. You can see the hearth is a little
Lot
bit
deeper.
taller,
Yeah.
a lot deeper. Because when you would have done your cooking, you could have it here on these hooks.
And swing it
and
out.
Swing it out. Pull it back. Of course, I would not be touching this with my bare hand.
Oh, no.
I definitely would be a branded mama.
Yeah.
For all your pots to hang.
And then down here is a cruder form of a, earlier, simpler form of the griddle pan
Okay.
that you would do in your
Okay.
pancakes
Just
on.
without the
So,
handle.
yeah, without the hinge.
Yeah.
It would flip, but not quite as intricate as the other one that you saw earlier. And then you have your rest, of course, here for your various
Oh, that's a
pots and
nice-
pans.
nice big spatula to whack
Mhm. Oh, yes.
whack
Yes.
kids'
Oh,
butts
yeah.
with.
Exactly. And then, of course, you got your irons down there. They're extremely heavy. This
And
is
I see
a,
that the hearth comes out further.
yes,
brick,
because
the
you
brick.
want it to be.
You gotta walk over there.
Exactly, and to
And
keep
bigger
things
fire.
protection
Yeah.
too. So that's the reason why, if you had had that here in the front room, it would have made more sense.
Mhm.
Okay, this is a boot jack.
I was wondering about that.
So, or we tell kids it's Davy Crockett's skateboard. No. But you would put your foot back here, and the boot that you wanted to take off, you would put your heel here, use it to pry your boot.
Pry your boot off. Yeah.
Oh.
And they still make them.
I just used the bottom of my cabinet.
So same principle, but they just made it like that. It's a lot simpler to use.
Yeah. And it
Yeah.
probably keep your boots together a lot better than just
Oh yeah.
trying
Yeah,
to pull it
I
off.
used the bottom of my cabinet.
And then I showed this one too. I love the chair, the rocking chair here. We just don't let people sit in this one too much.
Yeah.
Because it's been, carved out, hollowed out, and pieced together. Stepping back here, this is a dulcimer, lap dulcimer here. Yeah, and we actually have a
Wow.
picture of the lady who played this during the dedication of the
Oh
Crockett
my
Tavern
gosh,
Wow.
look at her.
in 1955. So this is
Left to
the
right. Mayor C. Frank Davis, U.S. Senator Herbert Walters, Eva Weiss, that's the one who played the dulcimer,
Mhm.
and then Tennessee Governor J. Nance McCord,
So if you remember,
April 16, 1958.
and Walters, if you know Walter State Community College here in town,
Mhm.
that's who that was named after.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So yeah, here she is playing that dulcimer there.
That's
over in the
cool.
corner. So we like that. It's like, okay,
That's
part
cool
of
history,
being here
yeah.
on the side playing something, and we've got it here.
That's so awesome.
Here on the side. And then when we have kids by, I'll show them the different toys that they would have played with, the ball in the cup.
Ball in the cup.
Which
Oh,
I've only
cool.
been successful once. I
Marbles.
usually
Really?
end up hitting myself in the head. with the ball.
Aw.
There's marbles.
Kids playing marbles there.
Yes. And then it got your
And a
lamps that you
lantern.
would do. Yes.
Those are dangerous.
Yes. You have to be very, very careful.
Yeah, kids back then had to be way safer.
The raccoon is from Florida. It's a Florida breed.
Wow.
I was
So-
like, that doesn't look like no raccoon I see running
It's a
around my
fox
yard.
coon.
We had a a lady the other day said, "Oh, that raccoon looks like it took a tan on the beach." I said,
Right.
"Yeah, so enjoy all that Florida sunshine." I'm
Yeah.
sure. But
That's
the
so
one
cool.
that you're more familiar with, and we'll step on
Oh,
Mr. Bear.
that
Mr.
was
Bear's
so-
seen better days.
Oh, yeah.
We're hoping to get a new one soon.
He's barely making it, huh?
Yeah, but he's been here for decades.
Oh, I bet.
Original site of it.
There we
But
go.
This is the coonskin cap that you would have been more familiar with. It is made out of real coon.
Oh, I see that.
And
hat.
yeah, it is a hat. And
Cool.
sometimes
Can you
we
put
have
it on?
little boys will put them
Will you
on.
put it
Yeah.
on for
Sure.
us?
My son was too scared. He's like,
Will she put it on for us?
Let's see.
Alright, be a brave girl.
Coonskin hat.
Yeah, good job.
That's
There you go.
awesome.
You're my brave girl.
It's actually it's very stylish for the
Yes,
for the
for
setting we're
time
in.
period. And then we had a little boy put the fox one on.
Oh,
There's
cool.
somebody in Hagerstown, remember?
Yeah.
Somebody in
This one?
Hagerstown had one of these, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I love it because if you pick it up, you can pick that one up and touch it. The legs are like ear flaps,
Yeah.
which I think is really
Just
cool.
hanging on the side.
Yes, which I love that.
That's awesome.
And then we have various little pelts, squirrel.
Oh, no, a
fox.
squirrel.
Yeah, I've got
Squirrel.
Squirrel. Squirrel. Oh,
That-
it's stiff.
Yeah,
She's
we have-
known. She's known as the Freedom Squirrel. So.
Yes.
Oh, that's for squirrel. Where's his tail?
I don't. Probably from. being
Oh, it's
passed
probably
around handle.
fallen off a
That's
long
what happens
time
when you
ago.
don't listen to me and you walk out in traffic.
Anyway, we have various hides and pelts that when we get kids come by, say, okay, when they had to make your nice warm winter stuff, this is what they would have used.
And like this fox fur, you don't
Yeah,
get the
it's
touch of
very
fox
soft.
usually,
I
you
know,
know.
it's
It's
so
like
What is-
soft.
what
so
is
soft.
This one I'm thinking is
It's
also
really
fox,
big.
but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it looks like a
Kind of fox.
something like that. Coyote, maybe.
Maybe. A coyote would be a
Little
little bit
tiny.
bigger. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's more. I'm more familiar with red fox, but there are like silver foxes.
Yeah,
and things
yeah.
like
Oh,
that.
it's
So I'm
so
thinking
soft.
it's a
Oh my
silver
gosh.
fox.
That's
I
what I was
think it's
thinking.
gonna sell because I've
bunny
had three
rabbit.
questions about it. I'm like, But I will tell you the moccasins here. This is made out of deer,
Oh wow.
out of a continual piece of deer. This
Nice.
is made out of elk. So you can feel the difference there. This is a little bit.
Oh yeah, you got
Thinner.
the softer
Step on 'em.
leather, and then that's a little thicker there.
Yes. And the moccasins would have just been made in one particular pattern out of one piece of deer.
I had to-
And then you would gradually wear it into a right or left shoe. There was no right shoe pattern, there was no left shoe. Same with the boots in the Civil War.
Oh really?
You wore your boot into a right or left shoe.
Oh,
Because you
so it
imagine
would
how many,
wear, and it would wear in, yeah. So the
Eventually.
leather would stretch into it.
imagine how many marches they made. Eventually, yeah, you're going to get a right and left
Man, and they didn't have moleskin back then for their
Is
feet.
there any, like, is the place haunted or anything? Any
shoe. Not that I
supernatural
know
stuff
of. I've
happening?
been here
Like-
for a few weeks now, so I'm not seeing, I'll say that.
Yeah, right.
As
Yeah,
far
and
as
then
I know-
doors will start slamming.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
because
a-
we have good gusts of wind.
That's a gun
this
right there.
Is an authentic
That is
long
a gun.
rifle.
Well, I got back up to get the whole thing in there.
Wow, that thing is big.
This
It is about an 1803, 1805 long rifle,
Wow,
It is
authentic.
long.
Yeah.
That's a long.
and it has the flintlock barrel mechanism.
Cool, right, guys?
Yeah.
So you'd have your piece of flint, a piece of flint's right in there, and then you'd have a little bit of gunpowder, and it would just.
That's so cool.
So yeah, this is an authentic of the time period that was donated to us.
Hexagonal barrel.
Yes.
You sure could,
Yeah.
cowboy.
That's cool.
So you can
See that, guys? This is authentic here. We're big into history. We
Good.
love our history, our Civil
I'm
War,
glad.
Revolutionary
I love those
War,
little stars.
right?
Yes.
I'm trying to get it zoomed. It won't go.
Mine does.
Cool.
Yeah, I
There
get the
it
right
is.
angle.
Bam. That's so cool. And you know if you're staring down a barrel of that, a Patriot's pointing at you.
And this is a replica, but it does work. It does fire.
Wow.
It is authentic of Davy's gun.
Isn't that the one we got today?
Yeah, we just
It's wood.
literally got it today.
Wow.
Back today.
Is that bamboo on here?
I'm not really sure.
It could be.
But I love the fact too that it's been carved into the barrel, different little engravings
And
and carvings.
stuff.
The actual gun that Davy used that's like this is on display at the Knoxville, East Tennessee Historic Museum
Wow.
on Gay Street. So you can actually go in and tour and see the actual gun like this that he fired.
that a hinge?
I think this is where they put the lead or the.
Okay, I saw that
How they
hinge
keep
there.
it.
Yeah.
Keep extra stock.
The
This
wadding
can be
and stuff like
fired as
that.
well. So we tell people.
So cool.
I found out that today too. It's like, please be careful because
It's
yeah, he
functioning.
might have actually flint, and powder and all this stuff
Yeah.
ready to go to be fired. So
Yeah, there's a piece of flint in there.
yes, I made her
Is it?
carry this.
Yeah, oh, it is.
Yeah, a little piece of flint.
Yes.
Nice.
So flint and steel make a spark, and then the
Yeah.
gunpowder ignites, and
Yeah.
pop, something gets
Exactly.
shot.
So they usually would have used a round ball in that to fire those. The
Horn.
later ones that would have been in the Civil War was your Enfield, Springfield rifles.
Yeah.
It would have had a more intricate grooved barrel than this, and it had the mini balls that you're probably familiar with.
Yeah,
with
with
the groove in the
little
base.
groove in the back. Yep.
Yeah, that would have been more accurate and carried a greater range of several miles, opposed to this one. As you can see, you got the long barrel for a reason.
Yeah.
More accuracy and greater.
It just seems like
range.
it really would have been
A lot of work.
cumbersome.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would.
And
have been.
and like
Yes.
yeah,
A lot of that. Yes, would have been really.
it'd take a
cumbersome.
minute to aim that.
Yes. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
a Powderhorn that we had with us that has the measurement on the end
Oh wow.
It
for your
does,
powder. And each one would have held, a typical one would have been about 2 pounds of powder. Out of that, you could have about 10 rounds fired
Oh
of
wow.
powder. The cartridge box is reproduction, but it would have held about 36 rounds in
Oh, I
there.
thought that was just
Nice.
a cool bag. I've been
No,
checking
that would
out.
be a cartridge box. And over here against the wall is some pictures of Davy using similar types of cartridge bags. The one over against the other side has him with his knife that he would have had out hunting.
Oh, nice
And then
picture.
his old Betsy with him.
Oh, that's so cool.
And
now I'm curious if that rifle's taller than me. Can you hold it
yeah,
up?
sure.
Oh my God, Freedom Scroll. I think the one on the left is.
The reproduction.
Yeah. Oh shoot.
Just,
Oh, it's
you're
like-
just a little
If
bit
I took
taller.
my shoes off,
You got like 2
No.
inches.
There you
would
go.
it? If I took my
No.
shoes off, would it
Just
be taller?
you're still missing about that much.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, just a
It's
little
right
bit.
there.
Almost taller than me.
The
Could you
gun.
imagine me like out in a war or out hunting with
Right.
a rifle taller
Women
than
have
me?
learned how to use them as well as men.
Absolutely, because
So
when the men went out and ate to go get food and everything, you guys were by yourselves. So
you have to defend yourselves and
That's it.
hunt and do whatever else you needed to do. I was going to mention, yes, one of
I got you,
Davy's
cowboy.
early trades, he was lent out for indentured servitude along with his brothers to help pay because John Crockett just eked out a meager living. He rented this land from the Kennedy family, built the tavern, but at the same time, he would lend out his sons. Davy was the 5th of 6 sons.
oh, wow.
So when Davy was about 12 years old, he was put into indentured servitude. And one of his trades took him close to right outside Baltimore, Maryland, where he learned how to do felt hat making
Oh wow.
and the hat making trade. And so if you've heard the expression mad as a hatter,
Yeah.
the chemicals that would have been used to treat the hats was
Mercury. Yeah.
and if you can imagine making multiple hats, you get sick and you grow insane. Or if you wore these a lot, it would leach into you and make you gradually go insane.
Wow.
I point out too, this is a trundle bed, excuse me, Megan, that would pull out and give you extra space to sleep on. The mattresses would have been made out of feather or straw. And
Oh,
if you've
wow.
heard the expression
Yes.
sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite,
Yeah.
here's why. So these are your box spring back in the day was woven rope. And when it started to sag through multiple wear and use, you would take a device like this. Right now it's pretty tight, so I can't
We
quite
saw
get it
one
in
of
there.
those in the Jonesboro Museum.
Oh yeah. A
But
little
you would put it
wedge.
in here, tighten the rope, work your way all the way down till you got it as tight as you wanted. And then, so I was going to reach over, I was like, where's the knot?
Yeah,
There it
and
is.
you're at the
And
knot.
then you would re-knot it. And then you would be sleeping tight once again.
Oh, wow.
And because the mattress itself had feathers, straw, you get little bugs, little insects. You know, don't bite you. So that's the reason why they always say sleep tight. Don't let your bed bugs bite.
Oh, that's fun.
So, well, we'll take you around here. You guys
Yeah.
can look upstairs. The loft area,
Oh, cool.
it's real narrow. Okay. But it would
Oh, the
just
basement.
house single men, businessmen, no women. Because
Well,
if
how
you
they
were a
even
single
had TVs
woman,
back then?
it would have been pretty much whatever they had at the time that they could catch, cook,
Yeah.
hunt. But they would discourage any single woman. Oh, Megan's going to go into children's.
All right.
Okay. This again was not part of the original house itself, but we use it for storage.
Yeah.
Call it the children's
That
space
is
because
so
it's really
cool.
small for the kids. Just watch your head as you come up. 'Cause
Oh,
it
and
is slanted.
you're sharing a room, too.
Yes, there would be about 3 to 4 men per bed if they so choose to sleep in a bed.
Wow.
Otherwise, you find space on the floor. If it was a nice night outside, you sleep outside.
Yeah.
This for them, it was just a place for me to
Just lay
get
down.
lay down, get a nice bite of something to eat.
Yeah.
I'm worn out. It doesn't matter to me at this point. We have extra spinning wheels up here when we've had people come by and do demonstrations. In August, the second Saturday, right around Davy's birthday, we always do a birthday celebration to open up the grounds.
Nice.
People come out. We do demonstrations, blacksmithing. People come out dressed up in the authentic, clothing
Yeah.
to show what it would have been like.
That's
And
cool.
it's all free, so everybody can come by, have food, celebrate Davy's birthday with us.
When did they do that?
This year will be August 13th,
August 13th, guys.
second Saturday.
Awesome.
But yeah, each one of these beds would have had about 3 to 4 men. And
3
of
to
course
4
you have your
men,
lovely
okay.
chamber pot
There's your
tree,
chamber pot.
Yeah.
your pre-bathroom indoor plumbing, and then the wash basin over here, and then of course another little lantern.
It's a fancy wash basin.
Yes, it would have been a lot fancier than what the Crockett's probably would have been able to
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Just kind of gives you a time period.
What's this?
That one I'm still learning. I'm thinking it's most likely a holder for maybe a soap or maybe, but I'm not for certain sure.
That's nice.
Every time I go through here, I'm learning something along with
Something
you.
new.
Somebody will know something.
Yeah.
This looking glass. Let's look at us.
Mm-hmm.
That other story we just saw,
Uh-huh.
Jonesboro,
Yeah.
was where they made, what'd they call it, babe?
Looking glass.
That's what they called it?
Yeah. And then there's a cradle down here.
I was gonna say I just kicked the cradle.
Yeah.
Take the cradle.
Sorry, little
Supposed to
guy.
Rocket, not crooked.
And then the bottom is also the rope.
Rocket, not crooked.
Oh, they have the rope
Yeah.
down the
Oh, they have
bottom.
the
there.
ropes in there.
Yes.
In the cradle. Do you have a flashlight on there?
Oh yeah.
It's hard. I know it's hard where it's dark.
There we
There
go.
you go.
Boom.
Nice.
We'll show you that too.
Teamwork.
Teamwork.
Teamwork with Jersey J.
Hell yeah.
And then over here in the corner, just want to point that out to you.
Yep,
is
that
a
was my look.
hat box by the chair for top hats for the gentlemen. Crockett's, of course, probably wouldn't have had any use for that, but we've
Yeah.
had that donated to us just to kind of show you other gentlemen might have had a hat box. in
Yeah. Keep your hat from getting
Yes.
chewed up
And
by
on the-
mice and
Yeah,
stuff
and
like
then
that.
the inside would have been like a stick, a stand inside to keep the hat upright and straight
Yeah.
and keep it from collapsing. The spinning wheel, I do want to point out one thing. I
Yeah,
meant to
what's the
say-
difference with that? What is that one?
This one is called a Weasel. This is what I meant to tell you about downstairs. If you've heard the song Pop Goes the Weasel,
Yeah.
this is to measure out your thread or yarn. And as you're measuring out, this one doesn't click, but most of them would have. And it would keep clicking, and it would be set at a certain measurement that you needed. When you reach that, this would pop to let you know it's done. You have the measurement you desire.
Oh, cool.
So it is not, contrary to what people think, you're not killing weasels, you're not blowing up a weasel.
Yeah.
This is the weasel that you would be using for spinning.
Oh, Pop Goes the Weasel.
Yes. And
so
the
cool.
outside shutters are reproductions of these shutters from 1790s. We did have originals on there, and we've had people unfortunately try to take
Try to break them off,
and
yeah.
try to take off. This is a hand spinning wheel. Some of the later ones would include a foot paddle to keep the wheel going. But yeah, when we've had demonstrations, the ladies will actually come out and use this type of spinning wheel.
That's so cool.
So we're hoping to get some of them back now that we're opened up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, excited. Some other original tribes. Now this one I don't know who it belongs to specifically, but we've had.
I love old trucks.
I do too. My grandmother had one too,
You just want to put me in one.
and.
Find a river somewhere, let you go for a little float.
Show me the back of the pig.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the metal design there. It's not gonna like mess up any wood.
Oh, that's cool.
And if you'll head on,
There's a little mini spinning wheel back
Yes,
there. Is that
that's-
for children?
kind of, sort of, or for a little minor work.
Yeah, smaller stuff.
Yes.
I love that cute little thing.
I know. Let me see. My daughter, as you see,
Yeah,
she's
she
already
likes to
come.
play in there.
That's why we call it the children's space, because they can fit in it a lot of times. I know.
Look at that little guy.
All right, just be careful coming down, sweetheart. All right.
That's cool. New Jersey's on there now. We put New Jersey on the map.
Is how family friendly
I was there.
the business is.
Where that? Oh yeah? I know, Southern Cali.
Pass down generation to generation.
Where you can
And then does this look like a lock?
you know, and it's all, I love
That looks like a lock.
It is.
It
It's
is a lock.
similar to the locks that we have here that open and close our main building,
Yeah.
and the one that's down the stairs in our living room.
Oh, that's awesome.
It shows you a similar style.
And this would be the key.
Yes, that'd be the key you take with you. The bottom one is the
Yeah, I was
bolt.
wondering what that was.
Yeah, it's a lock. See how it moves?
That's how the lock.
So that would be the bolt. And then it would stop it from
I just
opening.
don't want to lose the keys. It's like you
Wait,
take
how
my
do you-
wooden keys, I can't close them.
There's more?
Yeah,
Oh.
there's a little bit more.
Oh, cool.
I'll let you kind of examine that, but I'll point out. some-
Yeah. And look, there's one of the keys like that. That's so cool. Such an original design. Oh, well, there goes the sunglasses.
Come on now.
Oh, this is cool.
And I'll point out some things outside.
Yeah.
And you're welcome to look down here in our display case.
Oh, wow.
Some tools, artifacts of the time period, both carpentry, blacksmithing tools are inside there.
Ah, awesome.
This wagon was donated by the Bible family, another local family here in town. It is an authentic Conestoga type wagon.
Wow.
So that has been donated to us. The cauldron is also authentic to the time period, been donated to us as well. That would have been used to render your hogs
Okay.
or do very heavy duty type
Yeah.
of burning, cooking of the like. Behind there typically would have been a corn crib or smokehouse. So as you're raising hogs, obviously you gotta have something to feed them, someplace
Yeah.
to store that, along with your meats that you would have stored.
Wow.
Usually you would typically have your house built next to a creek, so you could build a spring house on it to keep
Yeah.
your meats cold, or any other things like dairy products, your butters and things like.
Oh, that's awesome.
If you didn't have that, you would use your underground cellars or build a root,
A
dig
root
out
cellar,
to
yeah.
have things cold. This is the blacksmith shop. When I mentioned they come by and do demonstrations,
Yeah.
he will pull some of the tools that you'll see downstairs out and do demonstrations here.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So they actually use the actual tools.
He'll come out there and demonstrate that.
That's awesome.
And
So-
that'll be August 13th.
Yes.
We'll have a blacksmithing demonstration.
Hopefully we'll get that plus a lot more. We're still in the
Right.
works
So
on
cool.
that.
Oh, look at that.
The gristmill that I mentioned from the original.
Oh,
Crockett
oh.
gristmill,
Oh,
the
wow.
smaller one.
This is part of the original. This is a smaller gristmill stone from the original. Wait, say it for me.
It's from the original gristmill that was outside of Limestone, Tennessee, that belonged to John Crockett.
So okay, so that's from the birthplace
Yes,
of
close
Davy
to the
Crockett.
birthplace. Yes.
No problem, Marilyn.
And the larger one was donated to us to kind of give you an idea of the different styles. The patterns on there that you see is basically used for different types of grinding.
Yeah.
So you would have ground corn here. You would also ground wheat to make your flours. And then the operating mechanisms over here depicted on the side how that would have worked using a water wheel on the outside to work the mechanism itself to make those wheels turn and grind into your flours and meals.
That's
If
so
you go
cool.
out to Cade's Cove, they do have operating water wheel
Oh, wow.
mill, and there is a guy there that will do demonstrations and show how that's done, and also sell some of the products.
Nice.
And do it on site. It's
That's
really
so cool.
and then when you have them on the inside here,
Yeah.
some of the spinning weaving tools. So I'm gonna show you that.
Wow.
We have a lady that comes by, well, she used to come by, she's up in years now, but she would demonstrate weaving textiles on this weaving loom.
The loom.
So she would actually come out, use this, and then these are some examples of things that she's done and made on this. The various types of materials that you would use for the time would have been cotton. You would also use flax to make linen out
Okay.
of. This is a flax comb. Flax actually grew as a plant. Somebody had my little board here earlier, and where it's I have no clue. Ah, here it is. I was like, where did they put off of it? But anyway, it grows as a plant like this,
Okay.
and then when it dries and you cut it off,
Oh, that
then you-
grows all over in the hay fields.
yes,
Yeah.
And they treat it like a weed.
yes, but it's not. You can use it, repurpose it, make,
Flaxseed, that's expensive.
yes, and we use it now for health reasons.
Like, yeah, buying flaxseed and flaxseed oil, that's expensive
Yes.
stuff.
So when you find this out and about, you can dry it, and then you would comb it using a comb like this to eventually you would get a product that you could spin and weave. That's
Oh,
your
wow.
linen. So that's how you would get that.
So
That's
you can use
cool.
the seeds, the oils, and the
And the
actual
fibers.
plant.
Yes. And,
And they
you
just
find
mow it
a lot-
down and treat it like a weed, and it grows all over the
Yeah,
place.
I know.
I tell kids
can-
this too, is like, when you have scraps, you didn't throw anything out. You did not waste anything. So they would have often little scrap balls like this around, sort of like your yarn balls.
Yeah.
And you could still weave them, crochet them, make rugs, make
Yeah.
anything else that you needed. You didn't throw it out.
You threw
could use
nothing
it-
out. Yeah.
You could use it, you would use it till it's completely done.
Repurposed till it's gone.
Yes, and then over here against the wall is some more hand woven on a loom type of fabrics that have been used. I'm trying to think of the right word. But anyway, that gives you an idea of the different patterns that you could have created using a weaving loom like
What's
this.
crazy about that is, like, when you look at all those things
Yes.
hanging here, and it looks like it's just like messed up and it needs to be realigned.
But
You
it's
know, like, I really
But it's all
wanna
got a
fix it.
purpose.
it all has a reason and a
You know,
purpose.
I'm
yes.
like, this is messed up. I need to fix this.
But if you do, you've messed your pattern up.
Yeah, and it just.
And then there's some
Oh, and
handmade
this is how you do
quilts
it.
against the
Nice.
wall, along with some other woven
That's how you
patterns.
do it.
So
Which
kind
makes
of gives you a
absolutely no
feel
sense.
what
So cool.
what they would have done, what the ladies would have done.
Yeah.
There's some cotton back here. We show them that when you get your cotton material, that's your sheets.
Yeah.
The cotton
Yeah,
plant.
so this is how those wheels, what those
Show
wheels
them.
are
Little kids.
spinning wheels are used for.
Oh,
So.
there you go. That makes
That's so cool.
It goes everywhere, man.
That's nuts.
And then back behind there against the wall are some large and smaller combs that you would have used for wool to come out. If you imagine when you sheared your sheep, they get
Yeah.
dirty and nasty, and that helps get them all nice and smooth. And then from there you would wash and eventually use it to spin on the spinning wheel to make
Oh,
your.
you wrap it
yeah.
around here and then
Yes.
it would go to that.
And then, well, you would start out.
Or
Yeah, you would start
you
out with
store it
that.
on this.
Yeah, you would have usually a big old ball of wool, rough in the raw in your hand, and you would just grab that and start spinning.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what is
And it
that?
would end up looking something like, if you're a good spinner, this would all be one consistent bit.
Thickness. Yeah.
But if you're like me, it ends up like a big blob and a big blob. I've tried to do this a few times,
that's
not been
cool.
too successful. But anyway, that would be your wool. And
And
then you
and this is the machine that makes it.
yes,
like-
that you would use to
Make
create
it
your
string.
to spin it up to make your yarn or your string. If you had cotton, you would do the same process.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, Or if you had rabbit you can also do
yeah.
that.
Oh,
Now
wow.
these people do like the chinchillas and
Yeah.
all that.
The llamas.
Yeah.
Or the alpacas. That one's really cute.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is
Complicated
cool.
looking. Yes.
That wagon, I love that wagon.
Yeah, that wagon's really cool.
This is really. And I was telling them, I said, inside there's some
How
artifacts.
cool would it be to have that in a
Farm
convoy?
tools
Right.
that you're welcome to look at.
Yeah,
What?
We
It
we've
still
got
has the
farm
brakes on it?
tools and a display.
Yeah, it still has brakes
Definitely
on it.
check
You
that
wanna
out.
Take it in the convoy.
because yeah, it's probably got better brakes than half the cars in the convoy.
Right?
in here.
Wow, this is cool. I love tools. That's my trade is carpentry.
And
On an
then
anvil.
I will point out a couple things. I know it's real dark in here. Earlier when we had nice bright sunshine, I was like, oh good, we've got a good thing for this. This is the apple cider press
forgot.
over here in the
Wow.
corner. So
Figured it out.
apples would go through that chute on the top to be chopped up really finely. They would collect in a bucket down below, usually with cheesecloths, so that
Yeah.
way you could collect the
Strain
main
out.
pulp. And then you would put it in the second bucket here, where you see that wheel on the top there. You would use it and turn to
Press
press
it.
out the juice. And if you're the Crockett's, then you would probably let that ferment
Oh,
for a
yeah.
while and get some hard cider for your tavern guests.
That's right.
This is a rope making machine. So the rope would be twisted and braided on this end, collected on this other side. This would have been stretched out quite a great
A long distance,
Yes,
yeah.
because you want to keep your
Well,
rope
Ray
nice
said
and
he needs
taut
some
Mm-hmm.
and collect it out.
right.
This is another butter churn. This is probably one that you're not familiar with,
Yeah, I've never seen that guy
but
before.
it shows you here a depiction of how the
Okay, so
Freehand
it would sweat it
Swirl,
across
almost like
each
in a
other.
big-
A butter churner.
Yeah.
almost like a figure eight.
It's much better than the one that you have to like.
Yes, and you get a
Right,
lot
yeah.
more product out of it, a lot quicker. The yokes down here, the smaller one is for horses, the larger one for oxen. And then this would have been a hand rake after you cut down your grass for hay, or if you had wheat or something else and you needed a rake to come along, this is what you would have used.
Wow.
Is that a
Behind,
big flask?
no, that is a hand bellow for the blacksmith shop.
Oh.
Yeah, it gets
This
some air
is more
going.
of a metallic one. It does work. We call it Davy Crockett's hair dryer, but it is not. It is a it turns. And
That's
the
gonna
air comes
force
up down the
air.
bottom.
Yeah.
Oh,
It keeps the
cool.
fire going. And when the blacksmith comes along, he'll take this, he'll take that handbell, take it out to his shop and actually use it.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
And then there's a variety of different woodworking tools that you're welcome to look at. Some examples of basket weaving up here at the top, the anvil that the blacksmith would have used. That
Wow.
mallet was donated to us by a circus.
That is
Oh my
cool.
God! Really?
Yeah. So we have it there to kind of show.
A
And
circus
it is
mallet.
pretty heavy. It's got some
Is
big
it?
weight to it.
Yeah.
It's pretty heavy.
Oh wow!
Don't
Yeah.
drop it on your toes.
I won't drop
That's
it.
cool.
The middle saddle here, I'm going to point out, that is a side saddle. So we
So
have a
this
picture
one.
here of a lady, yeah, that one right there. We have a picture of a lady actually using it, riding on it. So a side saddle there, and then there's some other horse and pony saddles
Look at the
there.
details
Huh.
on these.
And then we have some examples of the horseshoes,
Everything
pony
looks right in here.
shoes, oxen shoes.
Right?
And over here on the end is some meat grinders. So,
Oh, yeah.
these things with the claws on them are the meat grinders. And the one out of wood is also a meat grinder, but it was handmade using wood.
What?
That's cool.
So,
Then we have
and I'll point out a
picture.
couple other things, and that's pretty much about what we have.
Handmade
for you.
wooden
so
meat
many
grinder.
tools and
I know,
stuff.
that's the reason why when I come down here, I'm like, I can
I
spend all
love it.
day just talking about the tools.
You got hand augers and
Yeah, everything. The waffle iron that I mentioned
Oh,
earlier is
yeah.
up here.
About the roofing and how they built
And
it.
the various irons up here. Sometimes this would have been for your bigger linens, bed
Alright.
sheets, the smaller one for your clothing.
all this stuff.
And then when we talk about the brooms, this broom I do want to point out, it is made using one continual piece of wood. So the bottom's been shaped out.
so it's just they kept hacking into
Yeah.
it until
This
it
is
just got.
one continual piece of wood
Wow.
that's been used to make this broom. The bottom's been shaped, and it does work very.
That's so cool.
So when I've had to come in here and sweep off a little bug or something, I'm like, yep, got my broom.
Got it.
Yep, I'm all ready to go. And this is one that you're probably more familiar with if you watched The Wizard of Oz and the Wicked
Yeah.
Witch of the West.
it's just that.
where you have the handle separate and a woven
Well, now when you don't
base.
ever have to
That's
worry
cool.
about the handle falling off.
No, the ones we have today, 2 sweeps and I broke
That's
the
it, they snap.
handle.
Yep,
Yeah.
or they falls off, or,
They
yeah.
built them to last.
Yeah, back then you had to build stuff to last. You only get 1 or 2 in your lifetime, you know?
Now, the last thing I do want to point
Right,
out
right, yeah.
is the saws. The one on the top is for ice. The other 2 are your lumber saws.
Oh, wow.
And then the other thing I want to point out, this is a seed planter box. So if you have corn, tobacco, to make your job a lot
Oh, you
easier,
just walk by.
you would drop by, drop the box in, and then drop your plant in, go on to the next one, and it would easily
That's cool.
plant. I thought the
They
other
have
day
those
when I-
now, too, like newer
Yeah,
ones.
smaller
Yeah.
versions, yeah, that you can actually dig out a small circle, plant your bulbs in
Yeah.
at the same time. I thought, I used this the other day when I was doing my garden. This
Right.
saved me a lot of work. And then there's some other things here, hose, mags, axes that they would have used throughout.
Oh,
the garden.
yeah.
But this is pretty much what we have here for you guys.
Thank you so
Still-
much.
You
Yes,
are
thank
welcome.
you.
What is your name?
Christina.
Christina,
Sorry,
thank
I
you
didn't
so
say
much
that
for the
first.
tour.
That's
It's
okay.
fun.
That's
I start
okay.
talking and want to tell you everything.
I know, it's
Yeah,
great
yeah.
though.
But you are welcome to keep
Yeah.
exploring around.
And you're more than welcome to check us out on YouTube and watch
Okay.
the tour.
Yeah.
Yes, I get to see myself.
What
Right?
is your name? Megan.
She's my daughter, Megan.
Oh, it's
Megan.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for modeling the hat for us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah,
See,
so-
she's a YouTube. She'll be a YouTube star.
Yes.
You are
So
now
my
on
channel is
YouTube.
The Freedom Squirrel,
Okay.
and his is
Jersey J.
I'll write that down.
That's
It's
right.
we wrote it underneath our names on the thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
so you
Then I
guys can
can't
find
miss
it.
Yep.
All right, but you
Awesome.
guys are still free to look around as you need to.
All right.
If you have any questions, I'm gonna be upstairs.
Thank you very
I've got a
much.
homeschooling group coming shortly, and I'm gonna regroup and
All
get to show
right.
them more of the kids stuff.
Oh, that's
Thank
awesome.
you so much.
Thank
You
you.
are welcome.
Thank you
all
very
have a
much.
great day.
You too. That was cool.
Big.
Guys, what do you
Really foot
think?
warmer.
Foot warmers. There you go, Jen.
That's what I need.
Those look like morphine bottles.
Fragment of the casing from the original John
Hand blown.
Crockett well. That was a wooden well.
We got some
And that was
some bullet molds
yes,
and
that
bullets.
was underneath the shell station right behind us.
Yep.
Patriots Lab. Listen, we just got done with our tour.
Instruments used to bleed people.
We were at the Davy Crockett Museum. Absolutely awesome place, man.
Dude,
Awesome
this
place.
is what she used to bleed people.
Is it a bleeder?
Yeah. Instrument used to bleed people.
They thought that was helping people back in the day.
A curling iron.
They're like, we'll just make them bleed for 3 days and they'll be fine.
You have to get the bad
Oh,
blood
look
out.
at that, man.
Morning
That's an axe
Nice.
head
Mowing
on
stick
top there. Oops.
bought by Irish immigrants from
There's all
Dublin,
kinds of weird
Ireland.
shit.
Any outdoor living tips? Yes, sir.
Handmade
Actually,
spoon, silver.
if I were to be living
In
outdoors,
wood,
I would be
not
having all
silver.
these tools right
What?
here. I would
A
actually
cannonball.
use these tools. A lot of them.
A mess pot
All these.
carried by J.S. Howell during the Civil War. Used to cook
Look at hand drill,
Bayonet.
drill bits.
I love the handmade silver spoon that was hidden in the wood.
Imagine being a blacksmith
Yeah, it's a
and
shame
just
that
needing a
that's
tool
changed.
and being like, I'm just gonna
That's
make it.
changed.
What?
This is cool, right, guys?
You may all go to hell and I will go to Texas.
Stephen D, Citizen Debs. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm just getting to the text now. I didn't realize so many people texted or put. Oh. Yeah, dude. I know. We're gonna continue this right over to your house. You got the merch out there right now, or what? Selling some merch. We're gonna be heading over in a few minutes. Carpentry 101, man. You want to learn how to do stuff, you start with hand tools. So cool, man. You guys having fun in here? Some cool stuff. They got the Warrior's Path, Frontier Ranger, giant bee. This is cool, right, guys? I love this.
He probably walked in my backyard.
Right? For real, he probably did.
You can see it with these trees. 'Cause everything's clear. It's right on the other side of these trees. You see that?
Yeah, it was on the other side of these tracks, the original home. What do you guys think about your tour? We're going to go hang out with Patriots Lab and Stephanie. Got Ray and Stephanie we're going to be hanging out with in a little bit. We're out here with Freedom Squirrel, Paulie D, at Davy Crockett's childhood house. Yeah, we're not too far. We're not too far, Ray. We're heading out now. We're going to probably be over there in a few.
Definitely worth your money.
But, I mean, a $5 tour, guys, that was amazing. Thank you guys again. No problem. Have a great night. You too.
Thank you guys so much. And, it'll be awesome. So thank you guys.
I don't want to get the kids on tape. We got a bunch of kids here.
Later on.
We'll stop you somewhere now.
That was good, Squirrel.
That was fun.
That was a very informative tour.
For $5, you can't beat that.
You can't, man. If anybody's in the area, you want a good tour.
Yeah, like you cannot beat that
Yeah.
for $5.
And she was super friendly, too.
Yeah, the first time like that's the only second time I've gone through it. The first time I went through, there was a guy working here who dressed in
Oh, like,
era
that's
clothing.
cool.
Yeah. All right.
Brenda messaged me for your order. Oh. Yeah, Patriots Lab, you doing good out there today, bro? You got it set up? He said we're going to have a blast tonight.
Did you tell him that we found a rope maker to make him some rope?
I can make one of those at his house right now.
No, we did get him some
Did
rope.
you? I got some rope in my trunk of my car. I just popped the trunk in the car. Shit. Sorry, Ray. I just realized that. So, what do you guys think, man? They saved all that cool stuff. It's Friday the 13th, having a cool day. Stephen D says, better than the History Channel, Jay and Jen. Citizen Debs, I've dug antique glass bottles out of the ground too. Bottle dumps. I used to do that while I was metal detecting. You got some old planers. That's sick. Sorry, guys. I'm just getting all these texts now. Oh, thank you, Patriots Lab. I appreciate that.
You can talk to her. I'm not talking to her.
I did yesterday.
Yeah, we'll grab something on the way, my man. For real. Yeah, we'll have a fun day today. This has already been cool. Davy Crockett's childhood home. Oh, and I gotta grab a hat, right? Bless you, Jen.
Thank you.
You're super quiet today. Do you want some something to drink or?
Feeling well.
Yeah.
I couldn't even make it up those stairs. My knees hurt so bad.
Really?
Someone was hitting me in the knees with a hammer.
Well, that's not good. We gotta fix that. Now, bless you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. We appreciate that. But we're gonna head over to Ray's house in a little bit. I figured the dashboard was getting a little boring.
Yeah, I shut mine down when I left.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What do you think, guys? Do you want to come back in a little while and see the Patriots Lab, and we'll go into Jonesboro? We'll give us a little break. We'll go eat some food and stuff, and we'll come back on. What do you think, Jen?
Yeah, that's
Sounds
probably
good.
a good idea.
All right, guys, let's give it a little break. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and seeing Davy Crockett's house. We'll see you guys in a little while when we get back to Jonesboro. Thanks for hanging out.